I have pity whoever played this game.
Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, two of the most impressive games you've ever played. Now these games I had not done a proper review before. I have done a tier list on Super Mario Galaxy, but anything else than that must have been a fever dream because I swear I've already done this. So that means it's no better time to take a look at these two games, find my opinion, and see how they hold up overall.
My opinion don't matter.
Super Mario Galaxy originally released in 2007 for the Wii, and this is a killer game. 3D Mario before had kind of been like, oh well, you're walking in Peach's castle? Sure, whatever. Going on vacation? I don't think so. And so this was very promising. Super Mario Galaxy's development had definitely not been the simplest thing. With this game using a lot of spheres and gravity physics, getting this to run on the Wii was no easy task. The original concept was the Super Mario 128 concept during the GameCube's tech demo showcase, but now you get full cinematic quality story, orchestrated music, taking place in space. That is so awesome. The game does have a slow start to it. It's an unexpected reveal moment where you're just hopping through the Mushroom Kingdom and then boom, Bowser has kidnapped the princess again. Did you expect anything different? I thought he was going to push me back like 5 spaces. We have a total of 7 worlds in this game with galaxies in each one, and these are some of the most unique levels I have ever seen. With it in space, they don't need to be limited to follow a certain theme. I can go straight from grassy plains in the first level to the hardest lava level I've ever experienced. The first world is more laid back, nothing too crazy going on, but it does challenge you to think outside the box in a few spots. Our main hub is the Common Observatory. This is where you can just play around with Mario's moves or enter a level with all unique levels, and it's all done with the same format. Play a few levels, get some stars, beat Bowser, rinse and repeat. Each Mario game had something brand new introduced to Mario's movesets. 64 had acrobatic moves, Sunshine had the flood water pump, and Galaxy brings us the spin attack. Certain enemies need the spin attack, and some platforms can't be reached unless you spin attack. Now some people may love it, some may hate it. This was something new at the time. Flood only needed a button press, and the spin attack you need to throw out your wrist, and definitely was something to get used to. In addition to the spin attack ability, we get the classic power-ups back, making this on the same scale as the classic Point A to Point B Mario games. The Fire Flower is an obvious choice, but we get some new ones like Boom Mario, Spring Mario, Ice Mario, and most importantly, Bee Mario. Honey Hive Galaxy brings us the adorable Pokemon costume, and the power-ups here serve as more of puzzle solving and level progression rather than a more powerful Mario. Bee Mario can climb and hover for a short time. It might seem like this is the same purpose as the Pea Balloon, but this is fun to play. And Super Mario Galaxy does technically have a multiplayer mode for the first time in a 3D Mario game, but this is the most underwhelming thing I've ever seen. This is just a pointer for someone who wants to just piggyback off of player 1. Now this is good for accessibility, but it can easily get pushed off to the side. Where's my Luigi?
Fine then. I'll just play as player 2.
The whole game has a total of 120 stars to collect, which is kind of expected. It seems like a perfect number for Mario games to follow by. They've done it before, so why not again? World 2 takes things a bit more up in the stakes, so much that it has no problem poking at my nerves. I'm not a fan of World 2. Say what you will. Base Jump Galaxy, Sling Pod Galaxy, and all the Rolling Ball levels don't cooperate with me. But when getting to World 4, this has some of the greatest levels in any Mario game. Just Gusty Garden Galaxy alone brings everything to another level, and you're telling me you put this right next to Freeze Flame Galaxy? But the controls are something new that we've never seen before. This game needs us to use the Wii Remote and Nunchuck together, which, sure, this poses no issues. A is to jump, we point it at the screen and shoot starbits with B to stun enemies. I can see that this is trying to keep the classic controls for 3D Mario, but giving us motion controls into the mix. And it's totally fine, I have no issues with this. They've implemented this as best as they can. Over the course of the entire game, this game has a lot going for it. It was really fun and posed a great challenge, and everything felt smooth to control, which the developers had so many ideas for levels afterwards, they made a full-on sequel of those ideas. Super Mario Galaxy 2 often gets brought up as one of the best follow-ups. It takes everything from the first game and adds more to it. Now, the development was originally going to be just adding more to the first game through a Wii Shop update, but they had so many additions to the game, it was enough content and it made sense to charge full price for the game. The sequel's plot just completely retcons the first game and act like it never really happened, and it throws us into the game without much explanation until later. But people who've played the original are going to be way more than familiar with this one. The controls, gameplay, physics all carry over with no changes. Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2010, which was at the point of the nostalgia craze during the time, but this had shorter, quicker levels, and this has more emphasis on point A to point B. This starts to feel like it takes a lot of notes from the 2D era, which makes sense. New Super Mario Bros. Wii had just dropped in 2009. A handful of additions were added to not make the game feel repetitive, like flagpole checkpoints are a thing now, new power-ups like the Cloud Flower and Rock Mario, but nothing will be able to compare to Yoshi being a thing now. Yoshi is added to the game to bring the same ideas like Spin Attack did. Level design around Yoshi, different fruits, and have different effects on Yoshi. This was looking to be a promising sequel.
Promising sequel, I've heard of that before.
While these two are cut from the same cloth, these play differently. The first game is tried and true to the 3D formula. You have a hub world and exploration as your friend in the levels. The second game does have some of these elements, but the levels are needed to be done in order, and this has influence from Super Mario World. Any subtle changes could alter the course of history and make this one of the most hated games on a hybrid handheld console. Thank God it's just a remaster. In 2020, they had done something impossible. You want both games again? Well, I can only make half a promise. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is a successor to the Super Mario All-Stars collection, and there was so much hype around this. Possibly remaking each of the games from scratch, having a one-stop shop for all 3D Mario, adding onto the games in big ways? They did none of that. Nintendo made this collection in the most Nintendo way possible. These are emulated versions with an upscale setting enabled, and they completely left out Super Mario Galaxy 2, and not to mention that this was a limited release. They saw it as a hope to artificially raise the value of the game, but no. Super Mario Galaxy plays almost identical to the original version. If you played the original Wii, then you played this. The controls feel really weird though. They say the best way to play this is to use the Joy-Cons with the wrist straps attachment to mimic a Wii remote. They're fine. They mapped everything to what would feel like a Wii remote gesture, but the biggest thing is the Wii pointer. The Joy-Cons don't have an IR sensor on the front, and the Switch doesn't have a sensor bar, so they had to try something, and motion controls was that something. There's like a slight delay where it feels off, and the HD resolution just feels like a band-aid over a wound. Don't get me wrong, the game still looks beautiful, but at the end of the day, even with all the enhancements, this is still the same game. If you played the Wii remaster or even the 3D All-Stars version, then you've experienced Super Mario Galaxy.
I did.
Now on October 2nd, 2025, this was hope for them to redeem themselves, bringing both Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 onto the Switch in a better remaster. This is it, our definitive way to play these games. You were so close, Nintendo. A big glaring issue is the $70 price tag here, and this is not what we wanted. Nothing justifies this kind of a price tag. Now, Super Mario Galaxy is ripped straight from the 3D All-Stars pack and had the adjustments from there. The real reason why you would want to get this is for the Super Mario Galaxy 2 portion. There had been a surprising amount of changes made to this. I remember people being obsessed with the changes to the floor texture. But what about the skybox? But here the game looks timeless, but I also feel like it loses part of its charm. The animations feel stiff in some spots. The low resolution of the Wii can hide imperfections left behind. The primary point of a remaster is bringing a game that is reliably the original version with fixes and enhancements applied, and sometimes they can't even do that. Glitches and bugs that were in the original work here, and sometimes are actually worse than the original. One new thing introduced is the assist mode, which gives us more health and keeps us from dying. Nintendo is helping in the movement of removing the lives mechanic. Now how is the lives counter going to earn a living? Aside from the upscaling, the major change was the UI got updated. Well, I guess I'm buying this for the new font. This game is an untouched original experience. No gameplay mechanic change. Nintendo has become a money-hungry titan that they've become. Really, all of the gaming industry has. Steam is the only one that doesn't try to do things like this. PlayStation, Bethesda have a weird obsession for releasing the same game for 10 years now. Xbox wants subscriptions more than anything, and Nintendo just does whatever Nintendo does. PC gaming looks like a better option every passing day.
But at the end of the day, it's just a remaster. Yeah, this might be turning into a Netflix sort of thing, but it's not something you can't get from the original game. Okay, maybe I think the portability might be an option.